What the fuck are you doing?
I'm gonna shoot myself out of a cannon.
Why? What the fuck is the purpose of that? It doesn't make any fucking sense!
Look, I'm fed up with this fucking planet. I'm fed up with all the people on this planet. I'm just going to shoot myself into space, and then I'll be fine.
You are going to fucking die.
Goodbye forever, asshole.
What an absolute idiot.
Feeling lonesome. Don't you worry, they won't find my body. I want you to know I found peace in another world. Don't keep digging, I want you to leave back away from the place where my ashes are buried.
There's really nothing like falling out of orbit from the Andromeda system to really align your back. How it do, my stillborn cat litter? My name's Unded Meowth, and today we're going to be responding to the one, the only, the Kenham Pet Project, Answers in Genesis. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the fucking news. I'm going to skip over this first part because there's really nothing to respond to. It's just the introduction to their video and how they're having a Christmas special. But I find it hilarious that they put a rainbow on the ark. I know what they were trying to do, but in today's day and age, let's be honest, we all know what the rainbow really means.
So our first news item, our fluff item today, as we're letting people get on and get notifications, comes from my home state of Idaho. And Idaho man can't find a Chick-fil-A, so he resorts to cooking chickens in Yellowstone Hot Spring.
With this first story they're covering, there's no arguments being made, but I just want to talk about the absolute insanity of going home, getting a chicken, carrying it in your car to Yellowstone National Park, and dipping it in the bacteria-filled water to cook it. That's fucking disgusting. People always talk about Florida man. What about Idaho man? Idaho man out here cooking chickens like a goddamn caveman.
Okay, our next story is one we really hate to jump off on, but here we have the headline from Christian Headlines. Biden pledges passage and full enforcement of LGBT Equality Act in his first 100 days. So right now, as this article was written
October 29th.
October 29th, so it's a little bit delayed. But the situation, as we're sitting right now, is it appears that Biden is the president-elect. We haven't had the electoral college votes.
This was made November 18th. I don't know if they're living under a rock or if they're actually this stupid. But yeah, Biden is officially elected. You know, we have the electoral college votes.
And there are still challenges going on. But if he does take that office in January, he has his first 100 days agenda, as has become kind of the popular tradition in American politics. And one of those things is to bring into full enforcement this LGBT Equality Act.
Right.
But we have to remember, it's not the president who writes the legislation. That's the body of the Senate and the House of Representatives who do that, and then he approves those things.
Well, then it's a good thing that this article's headline doesn't imply anything about drafting this. Is your audience so dumb that you have to explain the basics of how the government runs?
But he's going to be the one driving those things and trying to bring that legislation up so that he can vote on it.
And of course,
and there was a version of this bill already that was passed in the House in the last session,
right?
But it was never brought to the floor of the Senate.
Yeah.
There's so many things, so many problems with it, where some people will look at this and say this is a good thing, but what it does, it really marginalizes a lot of Christians and people with other certain religious beliefs or moral beliefs.
Oh no, I can't be discriminatory to people anymore. Let's try a thought experiment here. Let's say your moral belief is that you hate black people and you think they're evil. You're still not going to be able to kick them out of your store for no reason. Sexuality, like skin color, is something you are born with and cannot change. If we can't discriminate against people of a different color skin than us, Why should we be allowed to discriminate against people of a different sexuality than us? Giving rights to the LGBTQ plus doesn't take away your rights.
Yeah.
Against it, that will necessarily make their views illegal in some way.
Going back to my analogy, you can still be a racist. Today's day and age proves that. You just can't kick someone out based on their skin color. This bill won't make it illegal to be a homophobic piece of shit.
Well, and if he can't push it through legislation, you can be sure he's going to try to push it through most likely executive order, the ideology at least. And so this is where he's coming from. These are his values, and this is what he's pushing for. And of course, elections have consequences.
When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
And we'll
Yes.
probably see those pretty quickly if he does indeed take office. But Roger, you were telling us earlier, I mean, why, based on the older bill, why does this bill matter so much? Why can it be so influential?
Now, you have even had influential people like Martina Navratilova, who's a gay rights activist, and she's actually opposed to this bill and certain parts of it in the way it was presented before, because it would make it unlawful to differentiate among girls and women in sports on the basis of sex for any purpose.
Oh, great, the trans athlete debate. I'm so glad that I stayed the fuck away from the rationality rules controversy. The trans athlete debate is so fucking stupid. There are cis women out there who could kick my ass into the future. There are also cis women with high levels of testosterone. So if the argument is that trans women have an intrinsic advantage because of the levels of testosterone that they have experienced throughout their lifetime, then what do we do about cis women who also have high testosterone?
So in this current form, what we saw brought up through the House previously, it would require things like biological males who identify as females, what are called transgender women, who are actually men.
Yeah, you just had to squeeze in that last second of bigotry, didn't you?
To share private dressing rooms and spaces like that. And we see those types of cases popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
So this would put this into federal law. We've already seen this issue come before the Supreme Court with the Bostock decision just a few months ago. And exactly how this is going to intersect with the intersection of our freedoms of religious conscience and rights with the sexual rights that people are trying to promote is a very interesting nexus.
Giving rights to the LGBTQA+ doesn't infringe on your rights. There is no nexus here. Just because a gay person is allowed to go into a grocery store doesn't mean that it makes your religion illegal. You stupid, stupid morons.
So how do you think that's going to play out, Tim?
Well, the drift that we've seen in our nation with what some people have coined the religion of sexualityism.
The religion of sexualityism. How in the fuck would you even spell that? Seriously, comment below how you think sexualityism is spelled. You can't just add ism to the end of a word and make it seem like a religion. You tried the same thing with evolution by calling it evolutionism. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. These are not words. They don't describe anything. Being gay or trans isn't a religion. And them asking to be accepted in society isn't an infringement upon you as a person. You want to be so oppressed that you think this is about you when it's not. So why don't you just grow the fuck up and realize the world doesn't cater to you and your antiquated and falsified religion?
Versus, what people would say is Judeo-Christian values, or we would just say Christian values. There's been this constant struggle, but what we've seen over the last 50, 60 years is that the one side seemed to keep eroding and eating away at these freedoms.
Which law under the Constitution allows you to discriminate and ban people of a different sexuality than you from a store? And I can tell you right now that religious freedom has nothing to do with this. Because even if this bill is passed, you're still going to be allowed to worship whatever God you choose to.
And, short of the Lord intervening, I don't know how we're going to see that stop. But, we can try. We've talked about this as a ministry before. We're not a political arm. We're not a political group at all. But
despite the legal separation of church and state, religion is a huge part of politics. So don't feed me that bullshit.
What we've said is a long time, and there's a lot of people who think that you can change this country by changing the laws, and it is important to elect godly leaders and to seek to have godly laws, But if the hearts don't change and the minds don't change, then you're just going to get people in the next time around who are going to change those things right back.
Most politicians are Christians. So unless a godly leader means something else, I'm going to go off the assumption that you mean a Christian leader. And if you're going to say you're not a true Christian if you accept the LGBTQA+, then you're doing the no true Scotsman fallacy, which I've covered several times on this channel. And it's hard to change people's hearts and minds when you're literally discriminating against them. Your homophobic and transphobic statements are not going to make me agree with you.
And so as Christians, we need to be about sharing the gospel and demonstrating the love of Christ to all.
Remember, Jesus loves you, so long as you're not gay, a sex worker, or a slave.
And one thing that Joe Biden said in this article, we need to root out discrimination in our laws, institutions, and public spaces. Religion should not be used as a license to discriminate, and as president, I will oppose legislation to deny LGBTQ+ equal treatment in public places. I will immediately reverse discriminatory practices that Trump put in place and work to advance the rights of LGBTQ+ people widely. And so when he talks about this, it's almost like only government-approved religion is okay. Only the view that they hold is what they say is equality for them.
It is unequal for some people to be allowed to exist in a public space, but others can't. If you can't handle being around gay people, that's a you problem. It's not inequality to say that anyone can shop wherever the fuck they want.
But anybody else, no, you can't help those beliefs. Maybe you can keep them privately in your own home, at least for now.
Yeah.
But they can't be anywhere else.
Wow, that sounds exactly like what the conservatives used to say about homosexuality. You can keep it in your bedroom, but not anywhere else. I guarantee you that even if this gets passed, there's still going to be street preachers saying that homosexuals are evil. Introducing the boob armor shirt. Got boobs? This is the shirt for you. Don't got boobs? This is still the shirt for you. You wish Baby Yoda had boobs? Then there's something wrong with you. If you want this shirt, head over to teespring.com/store/the-DED-zone. That's teespring.com/stores/the-dead-zone. I am financially up shit creek, so anything you could buy would really help me out. We got shirts, we got phone cases, we even got stickers, okay? Side note, I'm considering making a Patreon, so if you guys think that would be a good idea, let me know. I kind of want you guys to get something out of donating to me, but if you'd rather just donate to me on Patreon, that's understandable too, so, let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. Anyways, the rest of this segment is them basically saying we need to change hearts and minds by showing people the light of Jesus. And since there's nothing really interesting for me to add to that, I'm just not going to cover it. But I will see you in the next episode where we cover the next segment. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Unded Meowth, and that's all I got.